Welcome to our Bible study on relationships. Before we go into the session, there is three very important instructions that I'd like to give it to you. The first one is this: read the passage of the video before watching the video as a group. Take the time as a group to read it together, spice it up, divide the verses between 5 verses between all of you guys, or something like that. Second thing, watch the video. Third, not only answer the questions that are given to you in the end of the video, but also meditate and talk about the chapter itself. If you're doing this study by yourself, or if you're doing this in a small group context, these three instructions will be crucial for your well-being, for your knowledge, for your growth throughout the series. Let's start. Bible study focus on the well-being of all of our relationships. Relationships, we all have them, right? And here's the thing: we disappoint people in them, or we are disappointed by people in our relationships. Just the other day in the car, my wife and I, we were talking about how does one feel loved, celebrated, valued in our relationships. We can all certainly agree that in the tapestry of life, we all must concede to this thought: relationships are difficult. And marriage, which is a sacred bond, is a journey, and for many, a taxing journey. What about parenting? What about friendships? What about professional life, dealing with those you work with? They are all hard to navigate without hurting and being hurt, especially with all the differences we encounter. Through valleys of challenge and the heights of celebration, we wander and roam, facing situations that whisper in our ears: you're not loved, you're not celebrated, you're not valued. You are far from home, far away from your home. You are far from what your heart desires. You are far from what God planned for relationships in general. These frustrations, like shadows, creep in where they can, dimming the brilliance of relationships that are now darkened by difficulties, by manipulation, by disrespect, by harmful actions and words. Why? Why do we let these burdens and strains come between us and the abundance God has for us, our hearts, the abundance that God has for our relationships? Why do we allow the weaving threads of disdain to lodge themselves in our relationships? Perhaps in the chaos of relationships, we have lost sight of the way, forgetting the truths that the scriptures convey to us. The Bible teaches us that love, self-control, goodness and faithfulness and patience and kindness and peace and joy and gentleness and God's grace can mend what is broken and restore our relationships in the realm of marriages, parenting, friendships, professional life, with our neighbors. They offer a blueprint of all that we do. When we anchor our hearts in these promises, we foster connections that are ever enduring, eternal, really. Do you remember falling in love for the first time? What is the craziest love story have you ever heard? One of the craziest love story that I have ever heard, it is found in Genesis chapter 24, is the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Did you catch those 3 little words in the last verse? He loved her. This was love at first sight. There was no dating here. This is why I think this is the craziest story ever. They didn't even see each other, and when they did, boom, love. Genesis 24 narrates the beautiful story of Isaac and Rebekah. It's a beautiful narrative. But it all starts with Father Abraham. after receiving a covenant from God, promising him numerous descendants and a land called the land of Canaan. Abraham desires to ensure that his lineage continues through a godly marriage for his son, Isaac. Isaac, the son of Abraham, is in need of a wife, and Abraham sends a servant to find Isaac a wife. The servant prays and asks God for details, for direction, to recognize the right girl, the right woman for Isaac. So that's exactly what God did, guided him. The servant finds Rebekah, and upon meeting Isaac, they experienced love at first sight. I believe this narrative sets the stage for exploring how love serves as the foundation for the most fulfilling interaction in humanity, relationships, helping us understand how love allows our relationships to thrive. Love is a profound, selfless affection and commitment towards another person. Love is the cornerstone of healthy relationship, fostering trust, security, and mutual respect. It doesn't have to be romantic, but we all have met someone, and soon after meeting that person, we became a fan of that person. Isaac and Rebekah meeting is divine orchestration for sure. But here's the thing: do you believe that your relationships are part of God's divine plan for your life? When Rebekah sees Isaac for the first time, she immediately dismounts her camel. That was a sign of respect, of eagerness, of commitment. Isaac, upon learning who she is, takes her into his mother tent, and the Bible states that he loved her. What brings people together in the 21st century? Is it physical attraction? Is it emotional connection, shared interest and values, aligned values, companionship, support, desire for emotional and physical intimacy, peer pressure, social expectations? What is it? People can be drawn together for a combination of the factors I just said, which can evolve over time as they navigate their journey together. But here's one major thing we have found in all of our relationships. The reasons I just mentioned, they fail to deliver a thriving, abundant relationship, leaving us with broken relationship, broken hearts. They're not enough. If we want to have relationships that will flourish and thrive, it must start with the understanding that God has a purpose for every single relationship we have. Isaac and Rebekah's story begins with a romantic encounter, but it was God's guidance and purpose that brought them together. There's always an initial spark to any relationship which lays the foundation, but it's the subsequent actions, the choices based on love, sacrifice, and shared experience that deepen our relationships. Let me focus on one action of love that is crucial for the survival and the well-being of all of our relationships, especially marriage. You know what that is? That one action? Prayer. Faith in God's promises plays a pivotal role in strengthening relationships by fostering a deeper emotional and spiritual bond between the individuals. When couples, when families, when friends, when co-workers engage in prayer together, they create a shared space for vulnerability, hope, and mutual support to exist. In Genesis chapter 25, verse 21, Isaac prayed for the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Isaac's prayer to God on behalf of his wife because she was barren was powerful. His prayer reflects his deep love and commitment and concern for the well-being of his wife. God answers his prayer and Rebekah conceives, demonstrating the power of spiritual support in a relationship. Isn't that amazing or what? Praying together allows us to express our deepest concern, gratitude, and aspirations, which enhances our emotional intimacy. By inviting divine guidance, individuals can navigate challenges and conflicts with a sense of purpose and direction, believing that God is at work in their relationship. If one action of love is prayer, we must remember what the Apostle Paul tells us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17. This is what Paul said: pray without ceasing. Love is not a one-thing event, but a continuous commitment requiring daily effort, intentionality, and dedication. Unlike the initial excitement of new relationships, enduring love is built on consistent actions over time. Daily love effort that involves prayer, small acts of kindness and appreciation. It is showing your loved one that they are valued. We can have strong, lasting relationships. Love grows when individuals commit to prayer and personal growth, contributing positively to the relationship. By maintaining daily effort, intentionality, and dedication, love deepens and flourishes over time, making our relationships worth and enjoyable having and investing on.